I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
I do not have President Trump's ear, though. I mean, there's a piece of me, man. Maybe I should go sign up for Doge. Maybe I should. It would be nice to get back at all these vile, evil people that called me all sorts of names because I insisted on frugality, fiscal discipline, low tax. I really, maybe I should, but neither here nor there. While it seems that the normal, common people are starting to be listened to a little bit, I wanted to, hopefully maybe someone at the federal government now under the Trump administration is listening, but at least get the idea out there for the people, because ultimately we're the ones that vote people in. And I know you're all very excited about executive orders and this. I have to be impressed with Trump too. This is a different Trump. I've never seen a president, any politician, take so much action. And he should be applauded. And I would almost say if you were any politician of any stripe, this is the type of action you would like to see of your politicians as well, even though you and I might disagree on politics. But while he's doing executive orders, Doge is doing a great job exposing all this. None of this is going to matter if you don't arrest people and there's investigations into criminal activity, namely fraud and embezzlement. I know the title says arrest people guilty of fraud. That's kind of the wrong way to title it. I don't know how else to make it a succinct title. You should be, if you're suspect of fraud, you should be arrested. Guilty implies there's already been a court case, a trial. But right now, everyone's so used to playing nice with the Democrats. Like, we're finally get back. No. Here's why I don't want to happen. Okay. I don't want to have a repeat of the financial crisis where I'm sure somewhere there was a banker arrested for fraud. Nowhere near enough. I don't want to have another crisis where the guilty people get off scot-free again. That boiled my blood. There was nowhere near the amount of bankers that should have been arrested. Nowhere near the amount of mortgage officers and investors that really, nowhere near. I believe it was Iceland that arrested them all. That's what you should have done in 2008, 2009. You didn't. Now's the time to do this to our politicians. And I know USAID is this big compared to the rest of the budget, but don't get weak now. If there's any evidence of fraud, you go after them. Kind of related. I like the fact that it takes one guy. It happens to be Elon. He's like, that's interesting. Here's your salary, 200,000 a year, and your net worth is $75 million. That should be investigated too. I know one thing at a time, but this is the best shot the American people have had in a long time to go and actually drain the swamp. You didn't do it the first time, Trump. Look what happened to you. Oh, they arrested all your buddies on January 6th. They're willing to arrest those people. Shouldn't you be willing to arrest some assholes who are guilty of fraud? And look at the Democrats that just trying to have the Democrat, the normal, healthy kind of, I'm here for the little people guys. Guys, step back. All right. Your party's corrupt. It's horrendously corrupt. Don't do that. What about Republicans? Your party is corrupt. They are finding so much waste and fraud, so much money laundering. You say, well, that's not technically, it's not legally. You can't say that. Yes, you're right. You're right. We'd have to, did they sign contracts? Was this, was it all legal? It could be legal, but at the end of the day, it's still money laundering. It's still fraud. It's still paying off your cronies. It's still giving contracts and favoritism and nepotism, keeping it in-house. It's unethical is what I'm saying. And it's a large reason why a lot of you can't afford things. Imagine if people had less taxes to pay, more money in their pockets, you can maybe afford some rent. But in USAID, as just one example, yes, I'm sure a lot of it was all above board and signed off through the appropriate authorities. But when I see what were the politicians, not the politicians, the actors and actresses getting to go to Ukraine? That shit right there. No, you can find fraud. There is legit prosecutable fraud and embezzlement and theft and money laundering in there. Now, maybe it's going to be like Al Capone. He's done a million things, but you can't prove him on one, so you go after income tax evasion. Fine. But for the love of God, and I'm not saying make it up. If you don't find fraud, you didn't find fraud. But if you do find some criminal activity, like this lady sending the $58 million to the illegal immigrants over like that, that should be investigated. All these Hollywood types getting millions of dollars to go what? Sing a song in some foreign country? Awfully sus. And if you find it and it's prosecutable, you fucking nail them to a piece of wood. You drag them out through court. You have that blasted on the news stations if anyone watches. Okay, you have, what's his name? Asmongold and who's the other really big guy? The guy who worked at Radio City, the actor, MMA wrestler. Why can't I remember his name? Joe Rogan. You have it broadcasted live. You go up to YouTube like you're broadcasting this live. And because it is right and the justice thing to do. But the other thing is, look, you need it. Just me. President Trump, hear my advice. As predicted, you're going after their money. Instead of saying, oh, yeah, we're sorry, we got to clean up our own house. They are just money grubbing whores, and they are desperately like, you can't take our aid. You can't take it. That's our money. That's ours. It's mine, my precious. They're going to file every injunction. They're going to file it with the judge. The judge is going to say, you can't do that. They're not dead. They're not incompetent. They've been running circles around you Republicans for decades. But hear me out. There's only so many professional politician Democrats, right? And they only have so much money. They got a lot of money, but they only have so much. Make those fuckers spend it on defending criminals. They're criminals. I don't want their money going to like protesters and activists and clogging up roads. I don't want them having their lawyers going and filing injunctions, slowing things down. You make them spend their money defending their own fucking criminals. Then hopefully you get in front of a judge that says, yeah, here's the evidence. They've been corrupt as fuck. And they lose all those resources. You got to bum rush them. And this might require you hire, in addition to people who volunteer at Doge, maybe you get some lawyers who volunteer their time. You're like, yeah, I'll prosecute some fucking Democrat assholes. I'll prosecute the Republican ones who are embezzling money too. Because and here's the problem. There's going to be some Republicans who also got their thing. They're all politicians. I'm not naive. I don't think it's just Democrats. It's the goddamn Democrats, Clary. But this is the first battle here. No joke. Nailed to the fucking wall. And you say, we're not. and you scare the fucking piss out of them, and they should be fucking scared shitless because a lot of them should be thrown in jail, just like those fucking bankers. And oops, we get a couple guilty Republicans in there too. Good. We don't want you in here. And that's just where I was just like, I've not seen it in my life. Never. I've never seen the Republican Party. Now, of course, it's Trump. The Republican Party, you're a bunch of ballless wonderputzes of jizz, as far as I'm concerned. I've never seen this. I don't get hope. I'm just like, look, if we've come this far, and I hope Trump realizes they did try to kill him. You can feel your ear a little bit? Or is the other one, President Trump? I think he knows. But no, now is not the time to negotiate. You never negotiate. Where did it get you? You get if you need help, call out, say, Americans, I need your help. I need volunteer lawyers. I need volunteer staff. You'll get people. And if you find, and now once you say, oh, there's fraud under here, I wonder where else there might be fraud. And all of a sudden, Democrats got to start spending a couple million, maybe a couple billion on lawyers defending people getting out of jail. They love circling the wagons. They love it. That's less resources they got for all the other horse shit. Say, well, I could drag in the courts forever. Good. Drag them through the courts forever. Have them stuck in the courts defending criminals. Then maybe look, took 60 years to get here. Right? It's going to take a while to get out. You can't be thinking, oh, Trump's got only 4 years. No, you got to think long term. And that's just what it pisses me off. They immediately run and defend indefensible behavior. This would be like a political party running cover for the fucking bankers. And one might, the Republicans did that. No, not really. Right? Not to this extent. No, prosecute these fuckers. Get them. Fucking get them. And if you need help, ask. I bet you there'd be some people, yeah, you know what? There's a bunch of old men that have been treated like shit in this country and they're retired and they got money. Maybe that guy will go down there and help. I will go down there and help them. That's all I got. Link below. I have a link to Zero World Problems. It's my latest book. It has nothing to do with this topic. I just, the judge is like, oh no, you have to fund USAID because Democrats need their fucking money. Oh, by the way, what did you all exactly do? I don't see the world getting any better. I'm not following my advice in that book, Zero World Problems. It's all about enjoying a higher standard of living when you after you adopt minimalism. What should you pursue in life? After you give up pursuing material things, what will actually increase your standards of living? So it's a whole new set of economic goals and objectives for standards of living in a post-materialist economy. It's Zero World Problems. Link below. You can find on Amazon. Let's go to the super chats. I got a couple here. Exalted example, $5. Wish Red Pill Avengers was in person. Dude, and I appreciate the invite. Fresh and Fit invited us physically to go, but they're way the hell in Florida. Florida's like, look at us. We're already on the corner, but we're going to jet out more into the ocean and get further away from the mainland. We're going to put Miami right here. So you got to go way the hell out of your way to get there. Sounds like treason to me. Does the punishment for that usually involve rope? Oh, as for the USA fraud, sounds like treason. No, it's fraud. No, treason is, well, maybe it depends on who they gave the money because it ended up in the hands of some terrorists. There are at least a score of criminals that are prosecutable in all of this. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe not treason, but definitely fraud. If I was president, I'd go find all those Hollywood actors. Like, oh, you got that much money, huh? Huh. Okay. Well, you're going to donate that to a nonprofit. I think you should donate that to St. Jude's, don't you? Yeah, that's what I think you should do. Otherwise, we'll fucking take it from you. I'll implement a a USAID politician tax. I'll do a wealth tax on the politicians. That's what I thought. You were going to donate it to the U.S. trade federal deficit. That's what I knew you were going to do that. Ass bucket, $5. Democrats hate billionaires, but had no issue trying to elect a candidate who spent $1 billion on a campaign. Democrats are not good. Democrats are billionaires. You have to understand that, ass bucket. When I'm old enough to remember when the Democrat Party and some of the Democrat politicians themselves actually worked in the union, actually worked a job. Right now, they are the trust fund party. The Republicans are these Democrats of old, not exactly, but closer to than not. And the Democrats today are just they're champagne socialists. They didn't work a day in their lives, and they just want to be popular. They're stealing your fucking. Don't you poor normal people get that? Don't you? I'm here for the little guys. Don't you see that? Nancy fucking Pelosi, Mark fucking Dayton. None of these people, none of them come from poor. None of them work for a living. Oh, what's his name? Dean Phillips. Oh my God. What a worthless sack of shit. I'm going to vote for him because he has a cool van. No, he doesn't. His grandfather bought him that. He didn't buy a damn thing in his life. Dung is fun, $5. If Congress doesn't vote yes, insider trading is illegal. Who doesn't vote for it? They're in on it. I want justice. Damn. Yeah. Well, then we all got to go through the primaries and get rid of those. Right? That's what you got to do. We got the momentum. You keep the pressure up. Keep the pressure up. All right, that's it. I might be on Fresh and Fit here in a couple minutes. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.